Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Puckett Fieldhouse on the campus of Central Methodist University, and welcome to the 2022 NAIA National Women's Volleyball Tournament. It is the opening round here at Puckett Fieldhouse as the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference representative St. Xavier Cougars match up against the Heart of America Conference representative, the Central Methodist Eagles. First round of the NAIA tournament is always held at campus sites, and there will be 24 of these type of matches that are being held around the country today, and then the winners will be moving on to Sioux City and the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City for the final site of the NAIA Women's National Volleyball Tournament, as they go to initially pods, and then those pods will play out to see who makes the quarterfinals. St. Xavier comes into the match with a record of 23 wins and 8 losses on the season. They were 15-2 this year in the Chicago Collegiate Athletic Conference, the CCAC. That is coming off a year in which they were undefeated in the league last season. They finished at 28-4, and the Central Methodist women are at 21-8 this year, 13-6 in the Heart of America Conference. They were a Southern Division team in the Heart of America Conference, and in the Heart this year, they played a South Division schedule that was home and home, and included Mid-American Nazarene, just once beaten on the year, and Park, who was a national finalist from last season at the NAIA National Tournament. They had to play them a couple times, and they fell to them all 4 times they played. Added to that was a start that was on the road against Grandview and against William Penn, the start of the year. And they got off to a 1-3 start. They did rebound from that and finished 13-6 in the Heart of America Conference, and then beat Grandview in the first round. That may or may not have allowed them to play here at Puckett today and host this national tournament opening round game. CMU has also built a little reputation over the last few years because of their ability not only to get into the tournament and qualify for the tournament, but they have never lost an opening round game in the NAIA National Volleyball Tournament. Meanwhile, St. Xavier is coached by Bob Heersema, and he's in his 35th season, and they have been also regulars within the tournament, not necessarily with a long streak, but they have been regularly into the tournament in recent years, making the national tournament last year. They had to go up against a GPAC team a year ago against Dakota Wesleyan at Dakota Wesleyan, and fell there. In 2017 and 2018, they were able to get to pool play in the national tournament, made the opening round in 2012, and Coach Heersema is a 5-time Coach of the Year in the CCAC. To get here, St. Xavier was an automatic qualifier, winning the CCAC and the conference tournament. They were able to win the CCAC and get the top seed in the tournament. And in the CCAC tournament, in the quarterfinals, they beat Olivet Nazarene, who, by the way, is a common opponent between Central Methodist and St. Xavier on the season. They beat them in 4. Trinity International was their semifinal opponent, and Trinity International had actually beaten St. Xavier late in the regular season. In fact, it gave them their final loss of the season on alumni night of the Shannon Center when they beat them in 5, but they beat them in the semifinal and swept them 23-20 and 18, and then faced St. Ambrose, who was the other team out of the CCAC that is in the national tournament, and they beat them in 4 after losing the first 17-25, came back to win 23-12 and 23. Central Methodist, as we mentioned on the season, they were a team with a record of 21-8. Good schedule this year. They have scheduled up within their non-conference, and then in the conference season they had to play 2 teams that were nationally ranked most of the year with Mid-America, Nazarene, and Park, and both of those are highly ranked as well. They finished at 13-6 in the division, 3rd in the Heart. That meant that they had to go on the road in the first round and take on a 2 from the North Division in the Heart tournament, and they won that Heart of America tournament quarterfinal round against Grandview, 3-1, and then had Mid-America Nazarene just once beaten on the season to this point, and Mid-America Nazarene beat them 3-0 at 16, 19, and 22 in Olathe, the home of Mid-America Nazarene. Some of the other matches that are taking place in the Heart of with Heart of America and Chicago land collegiate conference team. St. Ambrose is on the road. They have to go face a GPAC team this year. One of the 6 teams, or well, actually one of the 7 teams that have been awarded berths into the national tournament out of the GPAC. St. Ambrose will be at Jamestown, North Dakota, so they've got a highly ranked team that they'll have to deal with. Mid-America Nazarene, they are going to be hosting Blue Mountain Christian from Mississippi, and Park University will also have Cumberland's University of Tennessee that'll be at Parkville today. Winners again move on. The national tournament is going to be held at the next round of the national tournament going to be held at the Tyson Event Center. It'll be in Sioux City. That'll be coming up beginning November 30th, the week after Thanksgiving, about the middle part of that week. So the starting lineups are going to be introduced here shortly, as Central Methodist and St. Xavier will be matching up against one another here at Puckett Fieldhouse in Fayette, Missouri, middle part of Missouri, and the National NAIA opening round of the tournament. Central Methodist lining up to your right as you see things. They're going to be in their black jerseys with the dark green and white. St. Xavier's Cougars will be in their white with red numbers and letters. And the introductions prior to the game are going to be coming up next. This is Central Methodist and St. Xavier at the NAIA National Tournament.
Welcome to the Central Methodist University for the 2020
Our national anthem part of the start of this one. Let's go ahead and give you a look at the lineups now. And first, the starting lineup for the St. Xavier Cougars. Starting will be one of the new seniors on their roster for this season, Molly Hackett. She's a 5'11 outside hitter out of Frankfort, Illinois. Also starting will be a 6-foot senior who will be in the middle from Belvedere, Illinois, Alexandra Weiss. Kelly Lynn Katowski is another senior on this Cougar group, and she is from Shannon, Illinois. She's a 5'9 outside and defensive specialist. Courtney Hunter will be in the middle of 6'1, middle and right side from Bourbonnais, Illinois. Kaylee Ritter is a 5'7 sophomore from Tingley Park, Illinois. And Katie DeHaan is a 5'8 freshman from Tingley Park, Illinois. She'll be the right side and also outside hitter. Bob Heersma is a 5-time CCAC Coach of the Year and in his 35th year as the head coach of St. Xavier. Now the starting lineup for the CMU Eagles. The Eagles are coached by Coleman Lees in his 4th season, and their starting lineup will include Annabelle Mawson, who's a 5'11 sophomore out of Jefferson City. Delaney Miller is a 5'11 middle that comes from Buffalo, Missouri, and Shabe Luby will get a start, a 5'9 senior outside from Hillsboro, Missouri. Callie Henson is a 6-foot opposite, a junior from Jefferson City. Joanna Milo is a 5'11 freshman from Lisboa, Portugal. And Marina Alonso is from Sao Paulo, Brazil, 5'7 senior and a setter for Central Methodist. Coleman Lee, again, is in his 4th season, and Central Methodist and St. Xavier are about set to get underway. Some of the other matchups in the Heart of America, in the NAIA National Tournament today. Eastern Oregon, a highly ranked team. They're going to be hosting Mobile of Alabama. Midland out of the GPAC. GPAC has 7 teams that are into the tournament, and if you think the selections are skewed before you make that argument, keep in mind that the GPAC had 6 in the tournament a year ago, and they had 6 that made the second round, or they made the final sign, and of those 6, 4 of those were able to make it out of pods and into the final 8. Midland's going to be hosting Indiana Tech. Concordia, Nebraska is going to be hosting Florida College. Benedictine Mesa is at Corbin of Oregon. Kansas Wesleyan out of the KCAC at Dakota Wesleyan out of the GPAC. Bryan of Tennessee is at Missouri Baptist. They are the defending 2-time champions. They won the 5-setter against Park a year ago. Flanders Smith of Arkansas against Northwestern. And Sagu, who played CMU in the first round of the tournament a year ago. CMU was able to win that one in 5. They're going to be hosting Xavier out of Louisiana. Viterbo will be hosting Point Park. We mentioned Mid-American Nazarene as Blue Mountain Christian. Campbellsville is at Taylor, Indiana. We mentioned Cumberland is at Park. John Brown is at Bellevue. Iukakomo is at College of the St. Mary. Iukakomo is familiar, certainly, with St. Xavier. St. Thomas out of Florida against Cornerstone, Michigan. Park Gilbert, Arizona is at Marion, Indiana. Rocky Mountain is at Indiana Wesleyan. Westmont is at Montana Tech. Ottawa out of the KCAC at Columbia College is only about 30 minutes from us here. William Jessup is at Southern Oregon. Bethel is at Columbia International. And Hastings is the 7th GPAC team, and they're going to be hosting Kansas Wesleyan. It will be a rotation generally for Central Methodist. It will include their starting five. We'll likely see Sydney Healy and Hida Campos. Jen Scapers has been a regular that's been into the rotation this year as well, and then they'll have several that come in for serving purposes. Cindy Moakley, Chelsea Moakley, and we'll also see Gabby Off-Tariq, who'll be used in the rotation, maybe the regular rotation for Central Methodist, or at least that's what they have been doing through a fair part of the season. St. Xavier, in addition to their starters, has also used Avanda Martinez coming off the bench or in the rotation. Nicole Dvorak and Maria Gutierrez have been regular for St. Xavier. So it'll be the best of five. CMU able to win a five-setter against Sagu a year ago. Sagu is the only undefeated team that is in the tournament, or the only undefeated team that is still left at this point. They won that in 5 a year ago, and it looked like it was going to be a fairly comfortable start, or maybe a comfortable match for Central Methodist. They beat Sagu 25-16, 25-16 to the first two. Sagu came back, won the next two, including a 28-26er, and then as they had built up some drama, well, CMU squashed it as they really dominated the final set, 15-9, probably won that one a little bit more than what the score indicated. St. Xavier going to Dakota Westland to the Corn Palace a year ago, able to take one, but in the end, it was Dakota Westland that won it. So CMU is ready to go. St. Xavier is already out there. And Avanda Martinez will be entering for Courtney Hunter as we get set to get started. CMU to the right. St. Xavier is to your left side. Crystal Bronner near to the match now, coming in for Delaney Miller. And it will be Marina Alonso who will be at the service line for Central Methodist. Serve coming up from Alonso. Here it is, and it will go to back middle initially. They get the set from Ritter to the left side. Hackett gets the swing and goes a little wide. Hackett easily the leading point producer this season for St. Xavier, but an attack error, and that gives a point to CMU, 1-0, and Alonso with another serve. And they target back middle once again in Katowski. Another swing. This one little something taken off by Hackett. This one will be resulting in a swing left for Annabelle Mawson. Brought back by St. Xavier. A tip that is going to fall just in front of the number 6 zone and falls in front of CMU's Shea Luby. It's a side out and a point for St. Xavier. It's a 1-1 tie. Kaylee Ritter, she was an honorable mention, All-American from a year ago. She is going to go just out with that one. Service error will give another side out. CMU has a 2-1 advantage, and Annabelle Mawson will be serving. Avanda Martinez, who was an all-league pick and a first-team all-league pick, is in the back middle for St. Xavier. They come left, though, to Hackett to make her go ahead and force it. Here's Delaney Miller that tips it over, kept alive by Chloe Mamingo's end, and a right side strike by Hackett, blocked, but she got it back. A tip over made by the Cougars. Callie Henson has to bump it over. This will be a chance at a swing, and a short one played to the middle now, and Alexandra Weiss. A swat gets dug by the Cougars, and the Cougars will make a roll shot that comes over from Katowski. Bumped then by Bronner, and that gets returned. Eventually, it's going to be a violation called against CMU that will give the Cougars the possession. They get the serve and the point. It's a 2-2 tie. And the serve made by Molly Hackett. coming into the net. That's 2 service errors so far early for the Cougars. And it's a 3-2 score. Crystal Bronner is going to be serving. Bronner has been a multi-time Heart of America Conference player. Little tip over by Maminga. This is going to be a chance at another swing. This one from the outside of Katowski. Got dug by Bronner. Backside set for Henson. Wanted to take something off of that and wasn't able to get the cut shot over the tape. So Henson with an attack error. Martinez goes out. Alexandra Weiss will be serving. It's a 3-3 tie after the side out. Serve comes back left. Set by Marino, but that is really more of a set error. Was intended for Delaney Miller. Couldn't get it over the net. Brought it a little too much toward the net. And Weiss will get a point off serve. 4-3. Cougars have the advantage. Weiss brings it across again, comes back middle. This will be another short set. Miller with a good swat, but Hunter brought it back. And it will be point to CMU. CMU gets another point. They get the side out, and CMU will also get Gabby Oftarik will be into the match. Oftarik coming in for Alonso, and Oftarik serve comes back left. Set by Ritter, short one to Hunter, never got it, and that gets touched back by Sydney Healy. Delaney Miller was there. I think Healy got the touch. So Hunter never got a chance at contact to the ball. It's a point off the serve for Oftarik, and it's a 5-4 advantage for CMU so far in the first set of the best of 5. Another short set. Ritter goes to Hunter. That time it's a termination. It's the best strike we've had so far as Hunter beat Oftarik. And a side out for the Cougars, and the Cougars will get Chloe Maminga, who was a first-team CCAC player this year. Hits one that's a little bit short. Oftarik will tip the ball to Delaney Miller, but they're going to rule it a double hit violation against Oftarik. It's a point for Chloe Maminga. And Maminga's going to get another serve. It's a 6-5 advantage for the Cougars. As she comes back left, they go ahead and force Mawson to take it. This will be a swing, though, for Healy, but she'll go well long. She never really could get into position to get over the top of the ball, and it sailed on her. It's 7-5. Cougars have the advantage so far, first set. Maminga with another serve with 4 along that back tier. And another service error. That's going to be the third service error against the Cougars to this point. Maminga will get replaced in a lineup now by Katie DeHaan. Katie DeHaan's going to be back into the tucked into the one zone. Jump serve, set left. And Kaylee Ritter is going to bring it to Hunter. She gets at least a chance at contact. Bronner brought it back, but Hunter was able to put it away. Bronner did pretty well just to get contact to that thing. It had to be a bit of an overpass just to get to it, and Hunter was able to get the second chance and put it down. 8-6 is our score, with St. Xavier Cougars leading by 2. Jump serve sent toward Bronner was decided to go ahead and try it, and CMU was able to get to Delaney Miller with the kill off the set that came from Oftarik. 8-7 is her score, and Paula Boser is going to be into the lineup now, freshman out of Columbia, Illinois for CMU. Goes cross court, Martinez let it go, good decision, service error against CMU. 9-7, Cougars have the advantage. Delaney Miller is in for Boser, and Bronner is going to be into the one zone now, and Martinez will be serving. Vonda Martinez goes back middle, gets into the air. Oftarik will set up Henry. That one with a partial block by Weiss. They'll set up Hackett to the edge. That one brought back, kept alive though by the Cougars. Over on 2 is Ritter. Another bump set that'll go to Henry that gets challenged, goes over the top of the block, but there's Martinez for it. This is a back middle hit that gets brought back by Shea Luby. Now a tip over for the Cougars and a back set by Martinez to Hackett. And that one, she attempted a cut shot. Did pretty well to do what she did with it, but goes a little bit long. Most extended rally that we've had so far in the match. It's 9-8. It's a side out for CMU. And CMU will have Marina Alonso, who'll be at the service line. Alonso serves, hit back middle. That gets taken by Katowski, and a swing by Weiss. Overhand dig on that, and this is Callie Henson put something on that, but that one gets dug out. This is Hackett that will, I don't know if she got it over the net or not. It got blocked anyway. It's either into the net or blocked, and it's a point for CMU. So Henson was a third-team All-American from a year ago, and it gets credit for at least getting that point. Alonso with a jump serve that comes back left. Taken there by DeHaan. This will have to be a back tier roll shot. Here's a setup on the left side that comes to Annabelle Mawson. Got a swing. Henson will get the second chance at a swing and put it away. Callie Henson gets the kill, and that's one of the reasons she was Attacker of the Year in the Heart of America Conference. 10-9's her score. That one sailed. That serve sailed a little bit, but Hackett gets a serve. Bronner's able to dig it out of there. Lonzo goes back for Henson. That one off the block, kept alive once by the Cougars. DeHaan got it, but Weiss nor Martinez could get to it. It'll be 11-9. CMU on a bit of a run. A 2-point edge now for the Eagles in the first set of a best of 5. Jump serve into the net. Service error by Marina Alonso, and it's 11-10, and that will bring Kaylee Ritter now to the service line. A second rotation of serving now for the Cougars, and Kaylee Ritter puts it across. Gets taken by Hanson. They go to the middle, and Joanna Milo tried the attack, but it gets brought back by the Cougars. Henson with a bit of a roll shot. They're going to say that was off the antenna. The block went off the antenna, and it's going to be, I take that back. It was antenna violation against CMU. Henson had celebrated momentarily, and now the assistant referee is going to come over and explain his call here. And as it stands, it's 11-11 so far in the first set. Kaylee Ritter is at the service line for the Cougars. Some of the early numbers, the hitting percentage fairly low for both of these teams. CMU hitting at about a .217 clip on average. They're at a -56, and St. Xavier is at a -50. So it's been more platform so far out of the first 21 points that we've had. They've gone ahead and replayed this. We're back to 11-10. Serve gets taken by Bronner. This will be Alonso that gets to Henson to the near side. Not a ton on that. Hackett will get a return to her, and that one got blocked, but Hackett might get another chance. Nope, they're going to come to Weiss. Powered through the block, but kept alive by CMU. A swing comes from Annabelle Mawson. She tried to take something off of it. Couldn't get it over the net. It's 11-11 now, and St. Xavier will be serving for the lead. First set, best of 5. Kaylee Ritter will serve and comes back middle to Shea Luby. Bump set will get to Henson. Henson will be taken by Martinez, and then Weiss is wanting a touch, got the touch call, and it's a point for the Cougars. 12-11 is our score. Cougars are serving and leading. Kaylee Ritter wanting Bronner just out, barely out. It is a fourth service error against the Cougars at this time, and it will get Annabelle Mawson to the service line in a 12-12 tie. Mawson will go back left, and the Molly Hackett will get to the near side and was able to drill it. She's essentially the attacker that kind of takes the place of Nadia Atten, who was a second-team All-American from a year ago. She beat Callie Henson on that kill. 13-12 is her score. And Ariel Hoskin will be in to serve. Bronner gets it knocked into the air. They'll bump set now for Henson, who went into the tape on that one, but got enough of it that it stayed on the Cougars' side, and they really couldn't recover. So she'll take it. It gets credit for a kill, although she probably didn't do what she necessarily wanted to primarily with that. It's still 13-13 now, and it looks like Milo's going to be out of the lineup. Delaney Miller, Henson, Luby on the front line for now. The serve by Bronner, and the tip comes over by Weiss. This is Henson with a soft shot that Martinez will try to pancake but can't. And another soft kill from Callie Henson will give CMU a 14-13 advantage. And to this point, it's been more of the off-speed stuff that has been able to get the points at the net. Bronner goes cross-court with it and sends it to the left side, and Katowski. This will be a swing by Maminga. Gets dug out, but it goes back to the Cougar side. Another swing by Weiss. More of a roll shot that Mossel to get to. Set comes near side. Luby down the line. Kept alive nicely by Ritter. And this is Delaney Miller that's able to beat Martinez as she goes to the far 5 zone. And CMU continues to hammer away. Pretty good platform play by St. Francis, but in the end, the Eagles win it. It's 15-13. Eagles had the lead. Bronner will serve. Bronner comes back left. That is Katowski, and this is going to be a point. Off the kill by the Cougars, and it's 15-14. Hunter's going to be into the game for Martinez. Alexandra Weiss will be at the service line for the Cougars, trying to get it tied now off the first serve. It'll be made by Weiss within the rotation, and the serve comes back to Mawson. Short set or set at the net, but that was a perfect set for Henson to hammer it down the far side. Side out for CMU, and it's 16-14. Sydney Henry will be into the match now. Henson will be replaced, and it'll be a second rotation at serve from Gabby Oftarik. Oftarik will serve back middle. Ritter, short set, comes to Hunter. Did she get that off Henry? It did go out. Point is going to be to, point is going to be to CMU, and a timeout's going to be called. Timeout called by St. Francis, 17-14. Timeout is called by St. Xavier. It's a 17-14 advantage for the CMU Eagles. Hitting percentage slowly climbing up for CMU, .77. So far, CMU has 5 kills from Callie Henson, and at least the hitting efficiency percentage for her is pretty good, although she's only had one that she was pretty authoritative. Delaney Miller has 3 kills to this point so far. And St. Xavier with 2 kills from Hackett, Weiss, and Courtney Hunter. There have been 4 service errors to this point. Hitting percentage for the Cougars is .34. There have been no aces to this point, and 1 block for Central Methodist, and none so far for Xavier. Again, it's been fairly established platform play to this point, although it appears CMU getting into a little bit more attacks, although they've been kind of finesse attacks. They haven't necessarily been real power. The return play, or at least the dig percentage, has been pretty high. Oftarik gets the serve over. Is a swing now for Maminga, and Maminga is going to go long with that one. Out of the timeout, a point for CMU, and Oftarik has a chance to stretch the Eagles' advantage, which is already its biggest so far of this first set, from 4-5. Comes back middle, and that is the first ace, as she beats Ariel Hoskin, a freshman setter, 5-5 in the back middle. She's got Martinez on one side and Katowski on the other. But a service ace by Oftarik. Oftarik goes back left. Boy, that handcuffed the hand a little bit, but that handcuffed Katowski. But Katowski had a chance to get it back and get a swing. Goes into the net, attack air, and now CMU has taken a 20-14 lead. So CMU has started to really open this thing up, and they're now into the stretch run to the driver's seat. That one's going to go long, though. So Oftarik goes long with that serve, and that will get William Aminga to the service line for St. Xavier. She'll come back left, taken by Mawson. Right side, a little touch by Luby, goes over. Joust at the net, won by Delaney Miller. And CMU is able to get a side out. And Shea Luby will come to the service line, and CMU will try to take another step to closing out the first set. 21-15, Eagles had the lead. Served by Luby, goes in, and a service ace. That had to be a 50-50 call, and really there could be probably no help that would be provided for Katowski, and another timeout's going to be called by St. Xavier. Katowski let it go. It bounced either on or just inside the line. It's 22-15, and that's a couple aces by CMU now. Off the serve of Gabby Oftarik. And CMU has a 22-15 advantage as we go into what may be the final points of this first set. Watching the NAIA opening round National Women's Volleyball Tournament, a first round match between St. Xavier and Central Methodist University. Central Methodist, a 5-set win against Sagu last season. Then they beat Dort also in their pool play, but they also had Missouri Baptist, the eventual champion, in their pool play. And Missouri Baptist was able to come out of the pool. Missouri Baptist would go on to beat a fellow Heart of America Conference school, same league as Central Methodist, Park University, in a 5-setter. Shea Luby will be serving. And the Luby serve will come to the middle, and Martinez has it. Kaylee Ritter back sets now for Hunter. Goes into the block. Another set, this time left side for Katowski, just over the top. Dug out by Oftarik. That's another swing for Hunter, but that one goes into the net. CMU was able to take advantage of that soft kill attempt. And again, CMU is just returning. They're not really being all that attacking about it, and they're letting St. Xavier make the mistakes. There's another near ace. This is going to be kept alive. It has to be bumped over on three. Bumped over on three, I think, by DeHaan, and a swing by Delaney Miller got through the block. Katowski and Hunter were both there, and it's now 9 set points coming up for CMU to close out the first set, and Luby will try to get it done here. Shea Luby, 24-15. CMU with the lead. And the Luby serve will be floated to Martinez. Ritter goes down to get it, and that has to be bumped over by Katowski. This is going to be a swing by Miller and beat Martinez. And CMU has put away the first set. 25-15 is her score. Central Methodist dominates certainly the back half of this first set, and Central Methodist has a 25-15 advantage over St. Xavier here from Puckett Fieldhouse on the Central Methodist University campus. So the first set starts pretty even. We were 13-13 at one point, and then at 13-13, CMU got points with Crystal Bronner serving, and then Gabby Oftarik was also able to get a service ace in there. Shea Luby would also get a service ace. And after it was 13-13, it was a 12-2 close by Central Methodist. And Central Methodist wins the first set 25-15. Some of the numbers for St. Xavier, they had 6 total kills and 8 errors on 34 swings, and that's a negative .059 hitting percentage, a total of 15 points. Central Methodist had 11 kills, 6 errors. That's still lower than their normal efficiency percentage at 161. But relied on St. Xavier and their ability to either block or return. St. Xavier maybe more so than just trying to power it. The Eagles had 2 service aces, none for the Cougars. 15 digs for CMU, 12 for the Cougars. There was 1 block and a blocking error against Central Methodist. Ten assists also for Central Methodist. Another thing is that I didn't notice Kaylee Ritter getting quite as many opportunities to get assists, and she has done that regularly. In fact, she was an honorable mention because of what she did in the assist column. She owned some Player of the Week honors as Setter of the Week. She won that award 5 times out of 10 weeks that they awarded it this year in the CCAC, and that's even one down from what she got a year ago. She won it 6 times last year. It'll be the Cougars who will be serving. Luby's going to be in the back middle and a service error. That was another thing that was probably more frequent than what the Cougars wanted, was a service error. Kelly Lynn Katowski got that. Shea Luby will be at the service line for CMU. After the side out, Eagles lead 1-0 and 1-0 in this set. Luby will go to Katowski, and that has to just be brought in the air by Ritter. Katowski with a roll shot that gets tape. So she will get tape on that, rolled over the top and came down. Good fortune for the Cougars, and they could use some as Weiss comes in for Courtney Hunter. And it will also get Ivana Martinez to the service line. Bronner's in the back middle. Don't know if they'll really go there. We'll see. They will go to Bronner. Bronner gets it elevated. There's the set by CMU to Shea Luby. Luby's able to get a second tip over. This one comes over by Ritter. Another bump for Henson, and that is a strike that's going to be really between the 1 and 6 zones, but it's certainly out of the range of Katie DeHaan. 2-1, CMU is able to take the advantage. Out goes Joanna Milo. Delaney Miller and Henson to be on the front line. Luby's there as well. Serve comes back middle. Ritter gets a good set, that time to Hackett, and there is Molly Hackett's kill. She was a first-team All-CCAC player this year, and of her 435 points, she had 404 kills on the season. Boy, she does have a classic swing. That bump taken by Luby late. This is Delaney Miller, brings it across. Ritter gets a receive on it. Maminga takes a swing, but that gets taken by Mawson. Cross-court shot taken by Ritter again. Ivana Martinez. This will be touched over by St. Francis, but that'll also be a double hit. That'll be called against St. Xavier. It is 3-2. CMU with the advantage. CMU to your left as you view things now at Puckett Fieldhouse. And Gabby Oftarik will serve. Oftarik brings it to Martinez. Martinez, that's her forte. This is Maminga that gets a tip back over. It's Henry and Miller there. Maminga with another swing, got it over the block there, and it's going to fall in. It might have caught some tape. As it is, St. Xavier will take whatever they can get. It's a kill and a side out for St. Xavier, and Ariel Hoskin will be at the service line. Hoskin brings it across, comes back left to Mawson. Set by Oftarik, and Henry put it away. Sydney Henry beat Hoskin, and it's 4-3. CMU with the advantage in the second set in a match that they lead right now. 4-3. Here to the line. At the service line will be Shea Luby. Martinez and Hoskin are in the 1 and 6 zones awaiting for the serve. That one will be taken by Hoskin. Ritter with the set, comes near side, and a swing by Katowski, brought back by Henry and Miller. Another block by CMU. Good swing. I think that was Katowski rather than, I think I gave that to Hackett, but it was Katowski that had it brought back. Katowski's also in the back line for now. Luby's going to be serving it to Hoskin again. That was a tough pass. Can Ritter do something with it? Did give Maminga a great set. So Kaylee Ritter was able to really save the possession or the swing opportunity because of a great set, because she wasn't set up with a particularly good pass. But Maminga's able to get the cross-court kill. It's 5-4, and the Cougars will be serving. Weiss, little low off Tarek, is able to set up Henry again. That time Hoskin dug her out. This will be bumped over by Ritter. A chance at a swing potentially. Off Tarek comes right from Miller, and she drilled it in front of Alexandra Weiss. CMU with a dominant effort there by Delaney Miller. Out goes Bronner. Here to the line will come CMU's Jessica Mowry. Mowry's from Arnold, Missouri, and gets a chance at the service line. Jump serve will be taken near side by Katowski to the middle, and Hunter brought back. Hunter keeps it alive with the net, but they're going to call the violation against the net violation that'll be called against St. Xavier. 7-4 is their score. Mowry will serve again. Mowry serve short, taken by Katowski. Ritter sets, back set Maminga, good swing, and got it in inside the line. And got it deep into the 2 zone. 7-5 is their score. And CMU still with the advantage. Mowry goes out for CMU as they get Luby. And they keep Luby in the pack line. That serve will come to Luby. Gets it elevated off Tarek. Will set up Henry. Soft shot covered by Ritter. Bump set Martinez. Comes near side Katowski. Sends that one to the left. And Hida Campos. And that results in a swing from CMU and another kill by CMU. So Hida Campos comes in for the first time and gets into the fray and is part of that point. Also Dahan back into the match for St. Francis. Out goes off Tarek along with Henry after a pretty good rotation for Henry in particular. And Callie Henson's going to be out of the lineup for CMU. Serve comes across from Marina Alonso. This will be Hunter, and she gets dug out nicely by Shea Luby. And a swing now from Campos. That's a little short but picked up. Brought over to the CMU side. Short set. Brought across by Milo. This is Hunter that gets a swing. Dug out again by Luby. Bump set near side. That will come for Campos, and this time St. Xavier can't bring it back. CMU did continue to attack a little bit more, and CMU with a 9-5 advantage. Good platform play, though, gave the opportunity. Those were 2 good digs off cross-court shots. Alonso makes a bid for an ace, but it's not able to hit the back of the 2 zone. And it'll be a service error that gives St. Xavier the possession and the side out and a chance at trying to draw back a 3-point deficit. Katowski will serve back middle. Short set is drilled by Joanna Milo. So that is on schedule, stays on schedule. And CMU gets the point right back with a quick side out. Annabelle Mawson will be to the line. Mawson serve comes, that got right between the 1 and 6 zone and split the difference between Nahan and Katowski. It's a service ace for Annabelle Mawson, and it's 11-6. CMU with a 5-point lead, comfortably in front so far in the early part of the second set. Jump serve off tape, and that one will be returned, but it hit the antenna. It got bumped anyway, and St. Xavier is going to call a timeout. They win at Katowski again. St. Xavier in some trouble so far early in the second set. CMU has their hitting percentage continuing to balloon. They're up to 244 for a hitting percentage, and that's certainly much higher within this particular set. They have 16 assists, and they have 17 kills on 45 attacks for that hitting percentage. And St. Xavier with 11 kills on 49 attacks. The digs are at 21-19, but it's the quality of digs that CMU has that's also a big difference. They've been able to dig out a couple nasty attacks that have been offered by St. Xavier and go ahead and win those points. So far individually, Molly Hackett and Chloe Maminga both have 3 kills. Alexandra Weiss has 2 and Courtney Hunter has 2 for St. Xavier. 7 kills for Delaney Miller. Callie Henson, 6 kills. Joanna Milo with 2. Delaney Miller, though, a .667 hitting percentage, and Callie Henson at .385. Annabelle Mawson's at the service line for CMU. The Eagles have a 12-6 lead so far, second set. 3 in the second tier of the alignment, the cross alignment for St. Xavier. Serve comes Katowski. Ritter short set to Hunter and buried it. Well, that is how you want to execute right out of the timeout. Ivana Martinez will be to the service line. Bronner's going to be in the back middle. Mawson's on her right. And Martinez serves to the back left, taken by Luby there. Marino comes to Henson, went into the net with that attack and an attack error, a rare one, just the second so far for Henson. And that is out of 8 swings. She had 1 early. I think maybe her first offering was also an attack error, but then she had 6 straight. Not all of them were just powerful, but they were effective. Ivana Martinez picks on Luby. She didn't really pass it where she wanted to, but she gets a kill out of it because of a nice setup by Mawson on the pump set. Shea Luby gets the kill. She got a reception and the kill on that. Delaney Miller's into the lineup for Milo for CMU. And the Eagles have a 13-8 advantage in the second set. They won the first one 25-15. Crystal Bronner looking around, trying to see what directions to follow. It looked like she had whistles. Seemed like they're all around her. Serve comes near side. Oh, Hackett didn't hit that very well and certainly didn't get a very good pass, and Ritter couldn't run it down. A service ace for Crystal Bronner. Another ace, and those have kind of been sneaky aces to this point for Central Methodist. Central Methodist has 5 service aces. This will be Ritter with a bump set. That'll come to Hackett to the near side. A little soft on that. Mawson got to it. Then Delaney Miller jousts at the net, falls on the Cougar side. Ritter with a set comes to Hackett, gets a swing off this. It goes off tape and out, and it'll be a point for the Cougars. It did get contact by CMU. Well, yeah, they gave that. Yeah, they gave the point to St. Francis, but they had CMU at the service line. And it should be Cougar serve with Kaylee Ritter. They had Crystal Bronner, who was ready to serve, or she was waiting for the permission to serve. And Kaylee Ritter brings it across. Soft serve. Bronner barely got to it. Kept alive by Alonzo at the net, but Henson couldn't run it down. So that is an ace for Kaylee Ritter. Kaylee Ritter was able to beat Bronner, and that's news. That doesn't happen very often. A 4-time all-league pick. Another soft serve. Mawson comes up to get it. Alonso will find Henson, kept alive. This will have to be a bump shot, though, and a free ball taken across to CMU. Miller faked, and Henson put it down. Boy, well done. And CMU was able to put 2 attackers on the ball, and it was Henson that drilled it. It's 15-10. CMU with the lead in the second. Off Tarek will be at the service line. Martinez will be in the back middle, and 4 on that back line alignment. Serve comes to Martinez off tape. Ritter with a short set for Weiss. That one gets dug by off Tarek. A swing to the left side. That'll find the back corner. Nicely done. Sent by Shea Luby. CMU with a kill in the corner, and it's 16-10. Off Tarek will get another serve. She had a nice serve rotation late in the last set. That one is going to go just out, barely out. Turns out to be a good decision made by Kelly Katowski. And into the match will be Ariel Hoskin. She'll be at the service line at 16-11. CMU with the lead. Cougars have the serve. Bronner back middle, and Bronner's going to get the chance. Off Tarek, goes to Henry, buried it. It's a couple times here of late that CMU has just been on schedule with perfect reception, pass, set, and results in an authoritative kill. Shea Luby at the service line. 17-11 Eagles lead. Serve comes. Ariel Hoskin had to overhand receive that, and then while Maminga is able to get a cross-court shot, she went wide on that. An attack air by Maminga. Maminga has been pretty good this year in general about her efficiency percentage. Not necessarily, at least to this point of the match. It's 18-11. Luby will serve again. Back middle, Ivana Martinez got it elevated. This is Ritter. This will be off the line. Katowski never did get it over the tape. Katowski was well off the net, but gave it a go. An attack air. It's 19-11. A timeout. It's going to be called by the Cougars. Cougars take a timeout. It's 19-11 in the second set. CMU leads this match 1-0 and leading 19-11 so far in the second. Watching the NAIA Women's National Volleyball Tournament, the first round opening matchup. Winner of this match will go to the Tyson Event Center. Once they get to the Tyson Event Center, they will go ahead and slot the 24 teams into 8 different pods of 3, and then the 3 teams in the pod will be playing one another, a set apiece, and whoever will come out of the pod then will go to an elimination quarterfinal tournament, and then they'll play that out. CMU last year went 1-1 in the pod, again losing to Missouri Valley. They have been able to make it out of pool play into the quarterfinals in 2019. In the COVID year, CMU was 15-7 and went 9-3. Now they had just a one-site tournament and no opening round. They lost to Eastern Oregon to bounce them from the tournament that year. Shea Luby's at the line. It's 19-11. Served by Luby, taken by Martinez. Ritter with a set, right side, Maminga. And that one, well, gets challenged at the net. But CMU, while it falls on their side, can never run it down. So Maminga is going to get a kill there. Hunter will be into the lineup. Courtney Hunter in the middle for St. Xavier. It's 19-12. And Alexandra Weiss will be serving. Bronner kind of handcuffed there. Bump set left side, though, for Campos. Roll shot, falls in front of that second tier. Offered at by both Hoskin and Weiss, but it ends up being a kill. Bronner will be out of the lineup here, and in comes Joanna Milo. Also at the service line will be Jessica Mowry. Gets a second service rotation. It's 20-12. CMU Now into the stretch run of the second set. Serve brought across. Hoskin just was able to get that one across. And then Maminga with a soft tip that falls ahead of, I believe that was Mowry. And it will be another kill for Maminga, but that one a bit of a finesse kill. Bronner's back into the lineup now. Delaney Miller is also going to go out. Henry is in. Maminga serves. This will be a short set off Tarek. Down the line comes Henry, kept alive by Hoskin. Then the second contact by Katowski, but they can't get third. DeHaan will be coming in for the Cougars, 21-13. Callie Hinson is into the lineup for Henry. Off Tarek gets replaced. Also, Alonzo is at the service line for CMU. Serve comes to Martinez. Good pass. Kaylee Ritter to Hunter. Hunter kept it on the CMU side. Offered at by Campos, or challenged by Campos along with Milo, but it's 21-14. And Kelly Lynn Katowski will be serving after the side out. Katowski, serve percentage of .906. Down the line to Henson. Alonzo sets up right side, touched over by Campos. Able to get it beyond Ritter. Again, did not take necessarily a swing at it, but was able to dump it in front of the second tier. It's 21-14. Eagles are 3 points away from taking a commanding 2-0 advantage. And Annabelle Mawson will be at the line. Brings it to Ivana Martinez. Set near side. Hackett touches over. Campos will get it. Left side. Luby takes it. Did she get that in? Nope, just out. A little long for Shea Luby. An attack air. That'll give a point to the Cougars. And Ivana Martinez will have it 22-15. Can the Cougars close a little bit here and at least put some pressure on the Eagles? We'll see. Ivana Martinez sends it to Bronner. A little bit of an overpass, but kept alive by Campos, but that missed time. That got Joanna Milo to kind of miss time or jump. And CMU gives up a point off the serve of Martinez. It's 22-16. Martinez will serve again to Bronner. Overhand reception. This is Hunter that tips it to the far side with a cut shot left-handed. Nicely done. Got it ahead of Katie DeHaan. It's 23-16. Now CMU 2 away from a 2-0 lead, and Delaney Miller's into the lineup, replacing Hida Campos. Crystal Bronner to serve. Bronner will get it back left. Boy, that one kind of surprised Hackett. She'll take a swing off the line. Bronner will get to it. Short going over onto it. Alonzo and gets the soft kill. Wins on the dink. 24-16, and now it's 8 consecutive set points coming up for CMU. And Crystal Bronner will have the first of those off the serve. Taken by Katowski. The set comes to Hackett. Tries to blast one block, but that one goes outside of the line. So a point for the Cougars, and they're able to save one. Maminga's into the lineup now for DeHaan. At the line is Kaylee Ritter. The serve comes to Mawson. Short set, Delaney Miller goes into the net. That was going to be challenged, but Delaney Miller might have rushed that one. It's 24-18. CMU still has 6 set points. Ritter with another serve. Back middle to Mawson. Alonzo short set to Miller. That one does get blocked by Weiss. Left side. This is Luby over the top. Is able to get it in front of Ritter, and it's a 25-18 victory here in set 2 for Central Methodist. The Eagles have a commanding 2-0 advantage over St. Xavier here at Puckett Fieldhouse at the NAIA National Women's Opening Round Tournament. You're watching Central Methodist and St. Xavier volleyball. Some of the numbers now, the second set efficiency numbers for St. Xavier. They had 12 kills, 4 errors. Their percentage was actually pretty good. Their percentage was .267 in a total of 30 chances. So they were more efficient. CMU, though, they had 16 kills, and that's up from 11 that they got in the first set. They just had 4 errors, again on 31 attempts, and that's an efficiency percentage of .387, and that certainly is tough to beat. And CMU is up over their average now in the season. There was, I think, a .217 as an efficiency percentage, and they're at .274 right now. St. Xavier is a .094. There weren't as many noticeable service aces. There have been 5 so far in the match, all served by Central Methodist. But again, more of those were noticeable, or more of those period, but certainly more of those were timely and noticeable in the first set. I think there was just 1 in the second set. The serving errors are at 5 apiece. Platform play from a numbers standpoint, reasonably even. CMU has 26 digs and 21 against St. Xavier. Maybe the bigger item, though, is the reception errors, where there's 5 against St. Xavier, and to this point, none have been at least counted against Central Methodist. 2 blocks for CMU and a block solo as well, 2 blocking assists. Individually, in the kills department, CMU has 8 kills from Callie Henson and a hitting percentage of .353. Delaney Miller is with 7 kills and a .417 hitting percentage. And Hida Campos has a hitting percentage of .750, and that's with 3 kills and no errors so far. The leading striker and the leading attacker for the Cougars is Callie Henson, .353 hitting percentage, which isn't bad. Or I should say, the leading attacker, I should say, is Molly Hackett, who has got 5. Chloe Maminga is the highest hit. Well, she has 5 kills, .231 hitting percentage. Alexandra Weiss has 3 kills and no errors for a .429 percentage. So St. Xavier has been better. They were certainly better in the second set on their attacking percentage, but they had to play most of that set behind by some margin. Alexandra Weiss will check out of the lineup, and it will be Marina Alonso who will be serving. Weiss checks out for St. Xavier. Maminga and Hunter are going to be the 2 outside on the front line for St. Xavier. Alonso comes back middle. That kind of handcuffed to Hahn, and they try. Well, it was Maminga that was just trying to get that thing off second contact into an area where they could get in a position to take it over, and it ends up being an ace on another reception error. Alonso's going to bring it this time to Martinez. That time a good reception. I don't know if that was mishit or not. Hunter wanted the touch, and they got the touch, but I'm not sure Hunter even made contact with that thing off of the set. But it's going to go St. Xavier's way. It's a 1-1 tie. Serving will be Chloe Maminga. Maminga down left. Henson has to get to it. This is going to be a double hit. That'll be called or lift. That'll be called against CMU, and that was because the reception pass really handcuffed the Seta Marino that time. Another one comes to Henson. This time has to go all the way to Campos. Bumps that back for Henson. A roll shot short but covered by St. Xavier. And then Courtney Hunter is able to just tip it over. And they kind of did the same thing that CMU did a couple times to them, getting it just over the first tier and in front of the second. And St. Xavier has a 3-1 advantage. 3-1 lead, now third set, in a must-have set for St. Xavier. Maminga brings it across down the line. Henson will take it. This will be touched to Campos. Ritter will get to it. Bump set by Martinez. And Katowski with a cut tip. This is Henson with the swing. Blocked to the net and saved out of that. Ritter will go ahead and push it over on 3, but they call 4 hits. 4 hits called against St. Xavier. 3-2 is our score. St. Xavier with the lead in the third set, but down 2-0. And Annabelle Mawson will be into the match and comes in for Ida Campos. Serve brought across. Ooh, another reception error, but this one will be pumped over on 3, but a chance at a free hit. This was going to be coming from Shea Luby off the touch. Kept alive by Maminga. Bumped now to the left side. Katowski goes second level and Bronner. This is a short set for Henson, a big swing. And then brought up one time by Katowski out of the net and out of the block effort. And it falls on the Cougars side. It's a 3-3 tie. CMU's Annabelle Mawson brings it across. Another receive error that results. It was Katowski that got it and sent it right to Shea Luby, and Luby gets an easy kill right in the middle of the net. 4-3 is our score. CMU with the advantage. In command of this one, 2-0 right now. Serve brought across once again. Hit that far zone. This is Katowski, who had to make the reception. Got a swing, but it got blocked. That one tipped over on 2, but covered by Bronner. Alonso brings it across to Milo, and Milo's able to win the kill. 5-4. Joanna Milo brings it across. And CMU builds the lead to 2. Still fairly early here in the third set. Serve coming from Annabelle Lawson. Another one trying to get another point off serve. That one goes long. A rare service error, really, by either team here of late. There's been 6 of those so far total against CMU and 5 against the Cougars. Most of those came in the first set. Kelly Lynn Katowski will serve, and the Katowski serve. Taken by Bronner. Didn't get the pass where she wanted, but Henson's going to get a swing, but goes long. Did she get a touch? Yeah, did. She got a touch on that when it was challenged by Hunter. And I think that was Nicole Dvorak that was in there as well. Molly Hackett comes into the lineup now. Crystal Bronner will be serving 6-4. Eagles lead third set and lead 2-0. They'll serve it for Martinez. Good pass. Ritter back set for Hunter. Gets a big swing. Ooh, brought back, though. Nicely done by Annabelle Mawson. This is Hackett again off the line, off a touch. Again elevated by Mawson. Bump set finds Luby. Luby won't miss-hit it. And the attack error by Luby takes away a couple pretty nice digs out of the volley by CMU. Point for St. Xavier. They're within 6-5, and Amanda Martinez is at the line. Mawson and Luby join Bronner on the back line. Mawson will take it. This is Marino with a set that'll come to Henson. I don't know if that got blocked or not. It was into the net. I think it was into the net, and Callie Henson an attack error. She's had a couple of those after I think she rolled off 6 straight. Kills without errors, and Martinez will serve, trying for the lead now for the Cougars in the third set. Mawson will take it. This is Marino to Henson. That one a little more of a tip that Ritter is able to cover. Bump set sets up Dvorak now from Martinez, and Dvorak is able to tool the block, got it off of Delaney Miller, and it's 7-6. Cougars have a 1-point lead. Served by Ivana Martinez. Sent to Annabelle Mawson. Or I should say Shea Luby. Luby will tip into the back line. This will be Ritter for Dvorak again. Touch over the top, covered by Marino. Bump set Bronner. Comes back line attack. And a roll shot that'll get to Mimingay. Right side. Weiss takes a swing of the ball. Kept alive nicely by Shea Luby. Henson even a swing and got it. What a play by Shea Luby to keep it alive, and Henson's able to get the kill, and CMU will be getting off Tarek into the match along with Sydney Henry. It's a 7-7 tie. Gabby off Tarek. We're in the third set. First set won by the Eagles 25-15. They won the second 25-18. Serve brought across, back middle, taken by the Cougars, and a swing by Hackett, and boy, she's got a classic swing. By the way, DeHaan was able to take that reception. Dvorak comes in for Hackett, but Hackett, I mean, she's got a beautiful swing anyway, but I've got to think there was a little extra behind it there because it's been a bit of a frustrating attacking game for the outside attackers for St. Xavier. Oh, and a set by off Tarek, and I don't know if it was mistimed or the play was misread, but Delaney Miller went well early based on the set, and it's 9-7. The Cougars have a 2-point advantage, still not yet to the middle part of the match. Getting closer there, overhand reception, short set for Miller, tried to go to the left side and goes wide. 10-7, the Cougars have worked their way back now, or worked their way to some margin. A 10-7 lead here in the third set, and a serve by Kaylee Ritter. Brought to the back left, overhand reception again. This will be Miller. It's blocked by Weiss. Alexandra Weiss, a second-team all-conference pick. She had 62 on the season and 12 blocked solos and gets one there. It's 11-7. The Cougars have worked their way back to a 4-point advantage. This is off Tarek. Backs that right side down the line, but out. Shea Luby goes wide. And now you see some life coming from the Cougars. It's 12-7. A timeout's going to be called by CMU. So the Cougars have worked their way back to a 5-point advantage right now. St. Xavier got off to a 4-1 advantage. But CMU recovered to actually take a 6-4 lead. But since that 6-4 lead, well, it was even tied 7-7, and this has been 5 straight that have been scored by the Cougars, and 4 of those off the serve of Kaylee Ritter. But those have also all been, at least at the end, as a result of attack errors. 3 of those by Delaney Miller. And the last one down the line by Shea Luby. So out of the timeout, we'll see what the response is, because the Cougars need the next 2 sets. Well, they need every set they play from here on out, but they're trying to set this one into a 4th set for now. Bronner an overhead reception. Right side strike by Henry, blocked by, I think, by Maminga or Weiss. This is Ivana Martinez with a bump set that'll find Maminga. Bronner kept it alive, but it won't be taken out of the one zone. That was well defended by the Cougars, and the Cougars certainly have some life with 6 straight. So they score a point out of the timeout, which could continue to be big, and CMU on their heels for really the first time in the match. Served by Ritter, taken by Bronner. This is off Tarek for Henry. That one again blocked, and it's the defense that's getting it done. Off Tarek for Henry again, pushes it across and got it through. She was a little off the net, and once again, she took off some of the power and was able to drop that one in the second tier. Here to the match will be Hida Campos, and serving will be Shea Luby. 13-8, and CMU has some work to do now. Leading 2-0, but down 5 here in this third set. Set by Ritter, goes to Maminga, and a block by Delaney Miller, but it falls on the CMU side, kept alive by off Tarek, and Delaney Miller was not really in a position to get to the ball because Hida Campos was kind of at her feet. So it's 14-8, a point for the Cougars, and a serve now coming from Nicole Dvorak, and she goes just long. Trying to hit the back of the one zone and goes long for a service error. But Dvorak has kind of sparked things to a degree for St. Xavier. Into the match will come Katie DeHaan for St. Xavier. 14-9, Cougars have the lead. Serving is Jessica Mowry. Taken by Katowski. This will be in the Weiss in the middle, but Mowry was able to get to that. Henry has that one blocked. Nicely done by Weiss, and they had DeHaan on the side. And another, well, I take that back. It went out, but it was a clean block by St. Xavier. It's 14-10, but CMU's able to get the point. Luby serving, or I should say Mowry serving again, and that time it's a reception error. Reception errors, certainly a problem in the second set, and that time Katowski had one. Jessica Mowry gets an ace, and it's 14-11. So a little bit of the margin has been replaced, or has been cut into. Here's Maminga that goes over the top of the block and is able to get it down in front of Mowry, and Henry couldn't advance for it. It's 15-11. Side out and point. Weiss will be at the service line. Mariana Martinez is out of the lineup for St. Xavier. Weiss to serve, and the Weiss serve comes back middle. Does get handled by Shea Luby, and Henry is going to go wide of the cut shot. Attack air, and I think the errors, there's now 9 errors against CMU here in this third set. And when tipped over by Milo, this will be a swing now for Katowski. Kept alive by Campos. Henry gets a swing, blocked partially by Hunter. This will be a swing on the right side for Maminga. That one gets dug out by Oftarik. A swing comes to Campos, and Campos is able to find the 6 zone that is out of the reach of Alexandra Weiss. 16-12, St. Xavier with the lead. Into the game, and into the match comes Ariana Martinez. To the service line, Marina Alonso. The Alonso serve. Brought across, taken by DeHaan. They set up Katowski to the left side. They got a block there. Block assist to both Milo and Callie Henson, and it's 16-13. So an attack by the Cougars. Once again, the attacks really for both teams, maybe a little bit skewed to CMU's side in the second where they attacked really well, but the power attacks haven't always been fruitful. Here's a back set to Callie Henson. She'll go with that soft shot. That's been what's tough, but that does get covered by Maminga. This is Katowski trying to power through the block on the edge, and that one goes into the net. Timeout's going to be called by St. Francis. Or I should say by St. Xavier. St. Xavier calls a timeout at 16-14 with the Cougars leading the third set, but down to Central Methodist. Here's a look at the efficiency numbers for St. Xavier in the third set. 6 kills, 2 errors, 200 hitting percentage. And for CMU, they have 6 kills, 2 errors, so 200. Man, I take it back. It's 8 kills, 9 errors on 28 attempts, and that's a negative 36 hitting percentage. For the match, CMU at .178, St. Xavier at .119. 7 aces for CMU, none for St. Xavier. The key stat there, or one of the reasons for that, for really all the aces have been the reception errors. Because the serves have not necessarily found just an empty spot. But they haven't always been squared up. Alonso to serve. That serve pushed to the left side, taken by Katowski. Set to Hunter in the middle, trying to power there, but blocked. Turned back to the side. Maminga gets a serve, trying to go with power and went long. No touch, and CMU is a point away from getting it tied. Marina Alonso will be at the service line, so CMU has responded, not immediately the next point after the timeout, but there afterwards, and Hunter again went with power, turned back by Milo. And it's 16-16. The Eagles have indeed come back from down 16-11 at one point. Ritter sets up right side Maminga, and she goes well long, and that was mistimed And this becomes really a pretty critical point for St. Xavier to hang around. 17-16 is her score. CMU with now the lead. Alonzo brings the ball to DeHaan. This will be a swing coming left for Katowski. Dug out by Bronner, and that will be out of the reach of Henson. She couldn't bring it back in. Bronner dug it, but couldn't quite keep it on the CMU side to give a second contact. So it's 17-17 out of the timeout. Ritter is out for now. Vonna Martinez is in, and Maria Gutierrez is also into the lineup for the first time for the Cougars. At the service line, Chloe Maminga. Maminga brings it across, taken by Henson. Short set, goes over the top, kept alive by Hunter. They set up left side. Katowski goes over the top of the block, but covered there by Alonzo, and a big swing coming, and off the block. It's Hida Campos that's able to get the kill. 18-17, CMU takes the advantage. Gutierrez right back out with Kaylee Ritter in. At the line is Annabelle Mawson. 18-17, Eagles have a 1-point lead. Cougars, last time they were in this situation, they were able to get the side out. This serve comes left, taken by Katowski. Right side, there's a power swing, and that is put away by Courtney Hunter. While it did get challenged and it did get off touch, it went out afterwards. So Hunter gets the kill. It's an 18-18 tie. And Dvorak will be into the match and takes the place of Katie DeHaan. Dvorak's limited minutes, but has done pretty good work in those minutes to this point. Served by Kelly Lynn Katowski. Taken by Bronner. Alonzo, short set. Kept alive by Hunter, but still on the CMU side. And a chance at a swing. Short set, and Henson put it away. Henson goes power. And Henson makes it 19-18. And once again, the Cougars are going to need a side out, because now we're getting into the stretch run of the third set. Serve brought across by Bronner. Taken by Katowski, or taken by Molly Hackett. This is a soft one that gets brought across by Henson. Hackett's going to try to shoot a bullet, and that one's dug out by Bronner. Little tip will result in a double hit by CMU that'll give the Cougars the possession back. It's 19-19. Avada Martinez will serve for the Cougars in a 19-19 tie. Third set, but they're down 2-0. Martinez brings it across. Mawson, a little bit of an overpass, and they're going to call a net violation. I'll take that back. They called a plain violation against Lonzo, and it's 20-19. Martinez again gives it to Mawson. Didn't have a great pass there. Luby gets it across, taken by Maminga, and then Ritter sets up Dvorak. She'll try to power and block. Delaney Miller and Ensign are both there again. That was a chance, another step toward momentum for the Cougars, and Dvorak again went with power, and CMU turned him aside. CMU in a 20-20 tie. Gabby Oftarik will be at the service line. She's had, for the most part, really good service rotations to this point. Brought across. Oh, another reception error, this time by Kelly Lenkatowski. And it's 21-20. CMU with a 1-point lead. Now it becomes pretty necessary for the Cougars to get the point in the side out here. Brought again, that pass overpassed in a swing, but a block nicely by Ritter. Got it away from Delaney Miller. This is going to be a chance at a swing. Short set comes to the middle, and Hackett, and she buried it. That time she beat Bronner. Ritter's ability to save the overpass makes it, eventually leads to a point, and it's a 21-21 tie. Ritter sends it to the back left. Bronner gets it elevated. Off Tarek to Miller, and they call a double hit against off Tarek. And now the Cougars have a 1-point lead, a service for Kaylee Ritter. They're 3 away from getting a set in this one. Served by Kaylee Ritter, comes back left. Elevated by Mawson, or elevated by Luby, who gets it back. Martinez got it. That's Hackett to the left side. Swings, and it's tooled off the block, and it's 23-21. Cougars with a 2-point advantage now, and 2 away from getting this to a 4th set. Kaylee Ritter will serve, brings it toward Bronner. Elevates it off Tarek, sets it up. Henry to the right side, off of touch. Taken by Martinez. Back set now for Maminga. Off the block and then in. And the Cougars will have 3 set points to make it 2-1. Kaylee Ritter will be serving. 3 chances at a win of the set. Bronner goes down to get it off Tarek's short set. Miller, did she get that one? And no, it went wide. The Cougars build a margin. They see it brought back, and then they have to come back, at least narrowly, but they do get a win. 25-21, and this will be a first-round matchup that'll go to a 4th set. So CMU leads 2 sets to 1. 25-15, 25-18, 21-25 over St. Xavier in this first round of the NAIA National Tournament. Here's a look at the third set numbers, at least the efficiency numbers. For St. Xavier, 11 kills, 6 airs, hitting percentage of .152. And the efficiency for CMU, 10 kills, 12 airs, out of 41 total chances, minus .049 percentage. For the match, CMU has 37 kills, Xavier with 29. Hitting percentage of .146 for CMU, Xavier 113. Reception airs, 8, St. Xavier, and 1 for CMU, but St. Xavier was even with CMU in that last set on reception errors. 5 blocks for CMU, and while the block number isn't high necessarily for St. Xavier, one of the reasons for that is that CMU hasn't always trying to power it through the block. They've tried to go around it. Individually, Molly Hackett, 8 kills, 167 hitting percentage. Chloe Maminga, 8 kills, 190 hitting percentage. Courtney Hunter, 6 kills. Alexandra Weiss has 3. Kelly Lynn Katowski has 2. For Central Methodist, 12 kills for Callie Henson. Delaney Miller has 7. Hida Campos has 5. Sydney Healy has 5. And Joanna Milo has 4. We go to a 4th set. CMU extended to 5 against Sagu a year ago and had won the first 2. And at least based on points, had won them kind of more comfortably than what they did the first 2 here. They got down by 5 early to midway through the third set here, came back and actually took a narrow lead. But St. Xavier then played point for point for a bit. And eventually they were able to pull away down the stretch. Bronner in for Delaney Miller. Alexandra Weiss is at the service line. Here we go, 4th set. 2 sets to 1. CMU with the lead. Weiss brings it across. Mawson close to the net, taken by Milo. Milo's able to find zone 1, back corner. It was off the tip, but still, I think in play anyway, it's 1-0. Moss in for Campos, and will also be at the service line. 3 to the back line. DeHaan's in the back middle. Martinez and Katowski are back there as well. The serve is going to be coming to Katowski. This is Kaylee Ritter. Back set now, right side. Mamingo along the line and drops inside of the near boundary. Well, they got the block, but again, good fortune for the Cougars, and it's a 1-1 tie. Mamingo will be serving. Chloe Maminga, first team all CCAC. Luby gets to that one, touched by Milo, brought into the air though. Martinez will set up now Katowski, and Katowski works the block and gets the point. Kelly Lynn Katowski. It's not at a high attack percentage, but it works out there, and it's 2-1. Cougars make it 2-1 early here in the fourth, and Maminga serves again. Maminga down the line and long, or wanted to go, looked like down the line left. Luby saw that one all the way. It's a service error. We have not seen very many of those since the first set, when we saw probably too many. Delaney Miller is in for Joanna Milo for CMU. It's a 2-2 tie. Brought across near left, Katowski. Pretty nice dig. That's off the line. Maminga shot it down. Mawson got to it. This is Henson, tries a cut shot off a tip and is able to find the far boundary, or found space inside the far boundary for a kill. So Callie Henson with yet another kill, and it's a 3-2 advantage for CMU. And Bronner serves again. Crystal Bronner will find Katie DeHaan to the middle. This is Courtney Hunter. This was tipped over by Delaney Miller. This is Hunter to the right side. Blocked back. And while I think Martinez got a piece of that, it was out of the reach of DeHaan. Good defense at the net once again by CMU. And that's Luby, Henson, and Delaney Miller, man of the net. It's 4-2. CMU with the lead. Bronner brings it to Kelly Lynn Katowski. Set comes back for Katowski. That one blocked, but it's tooled also. Miller and Henson turned it back, but it goes out. It's 4-3. And Katowski will be serving. Dvorak comes in and replaces Katie DeHaan. Serve pushed a little long, and that's a second service error now that we've seen so far in this fourth set. Hackett's into the match, replacing Dvorak. 5-3, CMU with the lead. And Gabby Oftarik will serve. Oftarik will serve. Sydney Henry's also into the lineup. Oftarik is going to pick on Martinez. This will be a set to Hackett. Big swing. Bronner digs. Short set comes to Delaney Miller, and they call a net violation. Or 2 hits, rather, against CMU. Dvorak will be coming in for Hackett. 5-4. CMU leads here in the fourth set, and Ariana Martinez will serve. Martinez taken by Bronner. This is a set now for Henry. Takes the swing. Dug out by Martinez from beyond the line. Off the tape and down for Chloe Maminga. And it's a 5-5 tie, and the Cougars get a chance to serve for the lead. Dvorak is out. Weiss is in. And Martinez will let it go. Off tape, maybe. This is Delaney Miller. Gets blocked. Blocked that time by Hackett along with Weiss. Delaney Miller has made a pretty good day of it so far, and doing the same thing was just done to her. 6-5. Cougars had the lead. St. Xavier has the lead still fairly early here in the fourth set. Serve brought across. This time into the net. Another service error, and I believe that's a third that's in this set this early for St. Xavier. Campos is into the lineup, replacing Annabelle Mawson. Shea Luby is at the service line. And the serve comes to Katowski. Off the line, Maminga tries a roll shot. Gets taken by Luby. This will be Henry that pushes it to the second level. Ritter with the set to the near side, backhanded by Hackett. This is Ritter over on two, but covered by Oftarik. Bump set left side, Campos, big swing, off touch. It's Martinez that gets to it. A swing by Hackett and buried it through the block, and it's a 7-6 lead. For St. Xavier, and the Cougars do play power, and they're able to get the point. They lead by one, fourth set, but down 2-1. Trying to get this to the sprint in set 5. Served by Kaylee Ritter, a soft one, but covered by Luby. Short set comes to Henry, and she buried it. There was really no touch by Hackett or Weiss, and not much of a chance for Ritter to make a play on the ball. It's a 7-7 tie in the fourth set. And Jessica Mowry will be serving for CMU. Mowry serve comes to Katowski. Bump set by Ritter, sets up Maminga and is able to find the far zone. The 2 zone with a cross-court shot. It's 8-7. The Cougars have taken a 1-point lead. In comes Crystal Bronner. Hackett is out of the lineup for now. And the serve by Katie DeHaan, who's in. This is Henry, tooled the block, and is able to get the point. Pretty well done by Henry, and you could see her size up that block. And she was able to hit it, I believe, off Maminga. And Marina Alonso will be at the line. It's an 8-8 tie. So we move toward the mid-stages here of the fourth set. Marina Alonso, that was never timed right. You could see that from her ball throw. She put that one into the air, and then she didn't strike that one in the timely fashion that she wanted. 9-8. Cougars lead. Weiss serves. Goes wide. Man, another service error in this set. And again, we're still fairly early in this fourth set. Weiss is out of the lineup. Hunter is in. Serving will be Annabelle Mawson. Mawson serve poached across. That was DeHaan that got to get it. Maminga with a soft tip covered by Bronner. This will be bumped over on 3 and a chance at a swing for St. Xavier. A block on the Hunter attempt. This will be another swing, though, for Katowski, but tooled the block. Block offered by Milo and Henson. And the way to counter the net defense is tooling the blocks, and it's 10-9. Xavier with the lead. Serve coming down the line left. This is Alonso that tries to save it. Henson takes a swing off the line and is just out. Now they wanted a tip and got it. The assistant referee or the linesman, all his job is to say out or in. So it's a point for CMU and a 10-10 tie. Crystal Bronner serving. The serve comes back left for Katowski. Set back to Katowski with a swing. That one's going to go wide. Again, rolled along the top of the net and then went out. 11-10. CMU with the lead. Bronner with another serve and a chance at another point. Bronner's serve comes near left. Katowski again. Ritter short set. Hunter tipped over, kept alive by Delaney Miller. A short tip by Luby. This will be a joust at the net, won by actually Ritter that time. Still a swing opportunity, though, for Luby off touch. Martinez will get to it. Ritter with the back set for Hunter. Powers it down the line. Bronner elevates. Alonso goes to Luby. That one taken by Martinez. This one is set. That comes near side. Katowski with a soft shot. It gets elevated by Henson. From the back line, Mawson. That one will be tipped over on two by Ritter to the CMU side. Miller takes a swing and wins it. Eventually, Miller was able to get a look at a swing and put it down. It's 12-10. CMU has the lead. A timeout's going to be called. 12-10 CMU with the lead over St. Xavier in this one. St. Xavier football, by the way, is in the round of 16 of the first round. The NAIA football playoffs. They have been a regular in the football playoffs. They qualified as an automatic out of the Mid-States Football Association. They had lost their first 2 games this year and won their last 9. And they are going to be competing today, and I believe they get a home matchup against Marion of Indiana. Take that back. I think they're on the road at Marion, Indiana, but they're in the football playoffs for the first time since 2018. Their 15th time overall. They're taking on a Marion team that's been a recent pretty regular at NAIA. Here's Crystal Bronner serves. We get back to 12-10's her score. Taken by Katowski. Ritter with a set off the line. Maminga took something off of it and wound up being a kill. Don't know if she wanted to do that or not, but it beat Alonso, and it's 12-11. It gets the side out of the timeout, and Katowski will be at the line. DeHaan is out. Hackett comes in. And she's to the near side. Serve brought back middle. Mawson elevated. Henson gets a short tip off touch. That will not be contacted a second time after Martinez and Ritter went down to try to get it. CMU gets a 2-point lead back. And Gabby off Tarek will be at the service line. The off-Tarek serve to Martinez. Barely got a piece of it. And this will be off the line. And that was a gamble by Katowski going from the back line with an attack and went long. It's 14-11. Now the Cougars came back from even a little bigger deficit than this was in the last set. Almost overpassed, kept alive by Ritter. Little tip by Hackett. This is Bronner with setting up a swing by Luby. Dug out to the back line. Set comes to Hackett. Big swing that Bronner is able to get to. Off Tarek goes left for Luby. Off touch, kept alive by Maminga. This will be Hackett that tips it over. Off Tarek will get to it. Bump set gets to Henry. Takes a swing. And Maminga gets to it. Short set. This is Hunter, and she's able to parry it. Cougars able to win the point. A couple nice displays of defense there. And Alexandra Weiss will be in for Hunter. It's 14-12. Ivana Martinez is at the line. CMU with the lead, fourth set, leading 2-1. St. Xavier serving. Bronner goes down to get it off Tarek. Sets up now. Luby comes down to line left. Dug out on a dive by Katowski, but Weiss can't keep that one in. I think it was Lady Miller that took a big swing in the middle of the net. Campos is in, replaces Mawson. It is now 15-12. The serve gets brought across, and the set comes to Weiss, and that one brought back by CMU. It's now 16-12. CMU has the lead. CMU with the lead here in the fourth set. And serving will be Shea Luby. Luby will send it across. Katowski will get to it. Kelly Lynn Ritter finds Hackett, and she'll bury it. Authoritative kill. And a termination for Molly Hackett. It is 16-13. Central Methodist leads. St. Xavier serving. Serve played by Bronner. Back set now for Miller. Gets a big swing. Kept alive nicely by Ritter, and Martinez got a second, but they couldn't get third contact to get it over at 17-13. Getting close now to the stretch run of this one, and CMU with a lead of 17-13 here in the fourth. And Addison Butler comes in to serve now for CMU. Plays it to Martinez. Didn't get a great reception, but it will be a swing from Aminga down the line. Took something off. And Luby could not get over there at 17-14. Right back out goes Butler with Miller coming in. Or I should say Miller goes out as well. Bronner is into the match now. The serve goes long. Man, another service error by St. Xavier. DeHaan hit that one. Hack it back in. It's 18-14. Henry goes out along with Off-Tarig. The service line, Marina Alonso. Milo is back in. Joanna Milo. There with Hida Campos in the front line. Timeout's going to be called. Timeout, 18-14 is our score. Central Methodist leading in this fourth set and leading 2-1 over St. Xavier in the NAIA Women's National Tournament first round. Some of the individual numbers for Central Methodist. The kill total for the Eagles, Callie Henson now at 15, a .367 hitting percentage. Delaney Miller has 10, Sydney Healy has 7, and Hida Campos has 5. For the Cougars, Chloe Maminga with 13, and her efficiency percentage is now at .310. Molly Hackett is up to 200 with 10 kills, and Courtney Hunter has 7. Overall, within the match, the hitting percentage for St. Xavier is 143, 172 for CMU. Alonso at the service line. Back three with Martinez in the middle to receive for St. Xavier. Taken by Martinez. Back set. That was to Maminga. This time it's going to go off the block and stay inside the near boundary. And St. Xavier gets the point out of the timeout. Hunter comes in for Martinez. 18-15, and somewhere along the line, the Cougars are going to have to make up some points. Weiss will be at the service line now. Luby's in the back middle, and she'll get the chance to take this one. Short set comes to Milo, and Milo beat Weiss, coming to the near side. Full swing taken by Milo, put it away. It's 19-15. Central Methodist leading by 4 in the fourth set and leading 2-1. Annabelle Mawson will serve for the Eagles. Mawson plays it to the back middle and Hackett. Bit of an overpass, but still kept alive by Ritter and sets up Maminga, and she gets the kill. So Ritter really helped there by at least getting Maminga a swing, and she took enough off of it. She really probably stroked that the way she needed to get the point. 19-16, Maminga will serve down the line off the net. And I guess wide of the, hit the antenna. So it's 20 to either hit the antenna or went wide of the antenna, but I think it came back inside the boundary, so must have hit it. 20-16, Eagles had the lead. Served by Bronner, played to Martinez. Ritter sets up now. Hunter, she got dug by Alonso. This will be even a bump by Luby to bring it across. Maminga puts it alive, keeps it alive. Here's a swing taken by Katowski, got blocked. Maminga with a roll shot. That one put into the air by Alonso. Off of the ceiling, though, and Henson gave up on the ball, and I think Bronner thought she was going to get it. 20-17. CMU with the lead, but a point for St. Xavier. And St. Xavier, once again, within 3 with serve, but they're going to need to make up 3 points somewhere along the line. Kelly Lynn Katowski will serve. The Katowski serve, back middle, taken by Luby. Back set comes to Henson. That one goes wide, no touch. It's 20-18. St. Xavier does get the point. Another serve will be coming up for Kelly Lynn Katowski. That was off the top of the net, but Bronner got to it. Swing by Miller, dug out by Martinez. This is Ritter that finds Maminga, and she will bury one. She beat Mawson, and it's 20-19. So Maminga comes up with a power kill when they need it, and it's 20-19, a point away from a tie here in the set for St. Xavier. Served by Katowski off the top of the net again. This time a set, or taking a Henson. Short set. Hunter buried it. It's 20-20. Short set by Ritter to get to Hunter, and it's a 20-20 tie. And St. Xavier has been able to make up the 3 points necessary. Now they serve for the lead with Kelly Lynn Katowski in the fourth set. Served by Katowski. Floated left, taken by Mawson. Set to the left side. A swing. Cut shot. Nicely done by Luby. Tough angle and outside the boundary. She's able to find some room just inside the near line. Sydney Healy will be into the match. So Healy is in at 21-20. CMU with the lead. Served by Oftarik, goes long. There have not been many of those for CMU, but that one's a big one. Gabby Oftarik with a service here. It's a 21-21 tie. Avada Martinez for the Cougars. Avada Martinez will put the swing on the ball. Going down to get it, Mawson. And Healy kept it alive. Here's a short set. Comes to Hackett. Off the touch. Kept alive by Oftarik. Bump set. Goes left for Luby. Got it over the block. Kept alive, though, by Maminga. And a roll shot dug out nicely by Bronner. This is Hackett with a swing. Block. Kept alive, though, by St. Francis off the block. Ritter goes over on three. Healy into the air. This is Delaney Miller. Brought back by St. Francis. A swing by Luby. Dug out by Martinez. Ritter goes to the middle and Hackett and put it away. Beat Bronner trying to go to the far corner. And the Cougars have a 22-21 advantage. The Cougars are 3 away from getting this one into a fifth set. Serve by Martinez. Floated left, Mawson to get to it. Short set. Comes to Miller, and she buried it in front of Avada Martinez. Off the set of Oftarik. In comes Campos. In for Mawson. 22-22. And to the line comes Shea Luby. The Luby serve brought across. And in! It's an ace! Katowski and Martinez were both in the area, and they let it go, and it's a 23-22. Lead for CMU, and Luby gets another serve. Another point for CMU, and they serve for the match. That one into the net. Service error by CMU, 23-23 tie. And after this point, somebody is going to get a set point. And in CMU's case, if they win, they would get a match point. Haley Ritter serves. Brings it across left to Luby. The set comes right now to Healy, and a great pancake. That'll result in at least a free ball over. CMU with a swing. Miller gets blocked. Kept alive, though, by CMU, and Healy will push it across. A swing opportunity for the Cougars. It'll be Hackett that gets it. And got it. It's a 24-23 lead for the Cougars as Hackett waited and finally got the opportunity she was wanting and put it away. 24-23. Cougars now are serving for the set and a tie in the match. Down to get it goes Miller. Kept alive by Bronner. Free balled back by Oftarik. This is Ritter. Short set for Weiss. Tried to go to the left. Brought back. Maminga puts it across. This is a set now for Healy. Blast. And she scores. What defense in a scramble situation for CMU. They got it done a couple times when they were way off system. And it's 24-24. So we go extra points now. And the serve will be coming from Addison Butler for Central Methodist. The serve by Butler brought to the left and Hackett. Ritter with a pump set now. Maminga off the line, off the block. Kept into the air by Campos. Healy gets a swing blocked by St. Xavier, left side, Campos. That one gets brought back to her as well, but kept alive. A swing by Haley, touched over, far corner. Put into the air by Katowski. A swing by Maminga. That one gets dug out by Oftarik. This is Healy with a swing right side. Dug out by Ritter. And Martinez, a pump set. A swing by Hackett. That one brought back by Luby, but it goes out. Hackett eventually is able to get the kill, although it took the ball falling on her side to do it. 25-24. It's a set point for the Cougars. Molly Hackett will be serving, and the serve by Hackett floated across. Down again it goes Luby. Here's a swing by Milo, and she put it away fast. 25-25 tie. Alonso and Henson both in. And Alonso will be at the service line. 25-25 tie. And Marina Alonso serves. Martinez will take it. Ritter with a set. Back set for Maminga. Blocked into the air, but out. Tooled the block. It was Campos and Milo that were on that side trying to defend. It's a set point again for St. Xavier as Hunter gets into the match. Serve coming from Weiss, and Weiss sends it off the net. This is Marino that finds Milo, brought back though by the Cougars. Here's a swing by Campos, kept alive by St. Xavier, and then punched over by Maminga late. Ritter kept it alive. There's a little tip by Henson. Did they rule it a pancake? No, they ruled it to the floor first, despite the outstretched arm of Weiss. 26-26. So again, CMU denies a set point. We haven't had a match point yet. A point here for CMU would get us there. Serving will be Annabelle Mawson. Mawson serve coming to Hackett. Pretty good pass to Ritter. Sets up Maminga right side. Touches. And that one taken out of there by Henson. A swing by Luby. Just a tip shot covered by Ritter. Annabelle Martinez now to Maminga. That gets dug out by Alonso. A swing now for Henson. A big swing block. Kept at the net. But stays on the CMU side, and a big block when needed. Dialed up by Katowski and Hunter, and it's 27-26, and another set point coming up for the Cougars. Chloe Maminga will be serving it, and the Maminga serve down the line, left and wide, a service error. Will take us back to 27-27. Delaney Miller is in. Crystal Bronner will be at the service line. The Bronner serve floated now to Hackett, down to get it. Ritter, short one for Hunter. That one gets buried. Hunter knew what to do with that, and Courtney Hunter put it away. It's another set point. I want to say the fourth now that the Cougars have had. The serve by Katowski goes back long, and it's an ace. Off the hands of Annabelle Mawson, and we do go to a sprint. So it'll be a sprint to 15 now as St. Xavier comes back from 2 sets down to win 25-21 and 29-27 as we take a look at some of the numbers in set 4. The efficiency numbers, 15 kills for CMU, 4 errors on 48 total chances at .229 with a hitting percentage. And St. Xavier, 21 kills, 4 errors, a hitting percentage in that set that they won, 29-27 of 333. The reception errors, I should say the service errors, certainly hurt St. Xavier at the start of that. And it was a little ironic that a service error was fairly big against CMU late. But good job of receptions and digs displayed really by both teams in that one. The individual numbers, Maminga now for St. Xavier is up to 18 kills and hitting .359. Molly Hackett, after a slow start, 13 kills and .250. Maminga, by the way, she has 18 kills. It was NAIA Atten, I believe, that had for St. Xavier last year that had the first round lead in total kills last year in the opening round. She had 21. Maminga's at 18 right now. For Central Methodist, 16 from Callie Henson. She's hitting .294. Delaney Miller with 11 kills. Sydney Healy has 8 and 7 from Joanna Milo. But now it becomes a race to 15. And Central Methodist this season played a 3-setter, or played a 5-setter with Park. In that 3-game losing slide, they had 2 of those were 5-setters. One of those in Oskaloosa to William Penn. They lost 15-10 in the final set. And then Park put them away 15-6 in the final set of the match that came after that. They've also gone 5 with Bellevue. That was 15-11. St. Xavier, I believe, has played 3 and lost a couple of those. Huntington was one of those, and they lost to Trinity. And I believe their win in the 3-setter came against St. Ambrose. But this one is a 5-setter to decide who goes on to the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City in a national final site tournament that'll begin on November 30th. So out there will be Mawson, Bronner, Henson, Milo, Alonzo, and Campos for CMU. It'll be Katowski, Maminga, Martinez in right now for Weiss, Hunter, Ritter, and Molly Hackett for the Cougars. So here we go, the race to 15 to decide who moves on. Serve coming for Katowski, and the serve by Katowski played to Henson, an overhand reserve, and Alonzo couldn't keep it alive. Reception error. There have not been many of those at all in this matchup for Central Methodist, but there is one there. Reception error is the 4th they've had so far. Another one into the net. Service error. Reception error, CMU. Service error, St. Xavier. 1-1 tie. Serving will be Annabelle Mawson. Serving for the lead. 3rd team Heart of America Conference player this year. The Mawson serve. Played to Martinez. Ritter will elevate for Hackett. Couldn't get a swing on the ball. Taken by Alonzo. Bump set for Henson. She'll try one block, but blocked out. And CMU's going to be able to get the point. Probably a pretty good decision by Henson. That was going to be tough to get it through the block unless you could tool it somehow. So she took something off of it. 2-1's her score. Mawson with a point off the serve. A little more on this one. Martinez gets to it. Ritter keeps it alive for Hunter with a swing. Kept alive there by Luby. A swing by Henson. Not 100% on it, but Ritter takes it over on 2 after Maminga touched it first. A little touch intended to be over the net for Milo and never got over. 2-2 tie, and now St. Xavier will be serving with Alvada Martinez. The Martinez serve, played to Bronner. Ooh, didn't get a great reception on that. Bump set by Alonzo and a roll shot by Shea Luby. Bump set for Hackett. She'll take a swing. Blocked, though, nicely done by Milo and Henson. Well done by the tandem in Milo and Henson to take it away from the power of Molly Hackett. It's 3-2. CMU with the lead. 5th set. Serve brought across, taken by Hackett near the net. Ritter kept it at the net. A joust of the net falls out. A point-blank look there for Annabelle Mawson, and Mawson couldn't direct it in. 3-3 tie. And this will be taken over by Ritter. Short set comes to Delaney Miller. That one will not be able to be brought back. It was an overhand reception there, but that was just too much by Delaney Miller to return, really. Healy will be into the lineup now. And Gabby off Tarek will be serving. 4-3. Eagles have the advantage. The serve taken that time by Katowski. Here's a swing, although off speed, taken by Hackett, but it works out. Bronner on a dive. Couldn't really get it to a second contact. It's a 4-4 tie. We're going to 15. The first to 15, or to win by 2, will go next to Sioux City. From the NAIA National Women's Volleyball Final Site Tournament. Served by Hackett, brought across. Bronner, better reception there. Healy's going to get a swing off the touch. Is able to get the touch and kill. 5-4. Central Methodist takes the lead. Campos is in. And Shea Luby will be at the service line. The Shea Luby serve brought across, and that one taken by Martinez. This is Maminga off the line, try to cut shot, about all she could do. They're going to call that a touch. It'll be a point for St. Xavier. Well done, Maminga. Able to find enough of an angle because the touch was probably going to be her only chance at getting a point out of that. Alexandra Weiss to serve. Brings it left and long, a service error. Boy, Campos looked that one all the way in at the last moment, kind of ducked away. Addison Butler is going to be in to serve now. Butler is in for Bronner. Delaney Miller out for now. Healy front line. Campos along with Milo. Martinez will get this one. Short set for Hunter. Buried it. Found the one zone and shot it past. Shea Luby, 6-6 tie. They're going point for point so far. Out of the first 12 that we've had here at Puckett Fieldhouse. Chloe Maminga serving now for the Cougars, and the Maminga serve sent a little short, but handled by Campos. A swing by Healy, powered it through the block that was offered by both Katowski and Courtney Hunter. 7-6 CMU trying to look for what's been an elusive 2-point advantage here in the fifth set. Marina Alonso will be serving it. And the Alonso serve. Sent across and long. It is a big service error. Of course, all those are magnified at this time. And we're now getting to the halfway point of the fifth set. Served by Kelly Lynn Katowski. Brought over to Callie Henson. Bump set, a little bit of an overpass, and they're going to rule a net violation. Or over the zone, over the net against CMU. And it's now 8-7, and we switch sides in the fifth set. So we switch sides with St. Xavier with an 8-7 lead. Cougars over the Eagles. And it's the first point so far that the Eagles have had to play without advantage, or at a disadvantage, I should say. They've been behind in some sets, but they were always leading overall by winning first couple sets. It's been since the early stage of the first set that they've been in this type of a situation. It's certainly magnified pressure. Bronner will get to this one. Short set comes to Milo. This will be a swing for Hackett. Off the touch, got it in, and now the Cougars have a 2-point lead. Timeout called by Central Methodist. Coleman Lee's going to take a timeout. And it's a 9-7 advantage for St. Xavier. 5 kills, 1 error so far in this set. But the big important number is a 9-7 advantage. 4 kills, 1 error by Central Methodist. Individually, It's now 17 kills for Henson. Delaney Miller with 12. Sydney Healy has 10. Chloe Maminga's up to 19. Molly Hackett 15. Courtney Hunter has 10. It's a pretty important point coming out of the timeout with the Cougars serving and leading 9-7. You could recover from it, but you're going to have pretty full momentum on the Cougar side if they're able to win this point. Bronner, Campos, and Alonzo will be here to the back line along with Luby. So they go with a 2-4 look here as Kelly Lynn Kotowski will serve. The Kotowski serve taken by Campos. Short set back for Campos. And Molly Hackett. This will be a back row attack that Bronner will get to. Alonzo with a set. Henson blocked individually by Hackett. Hackett with a huge solo block to make it 10-7. CMU had the swing they wanted, and Hackett turned it away. It's 10-7. Kotowski for the Cougars brings it across off of the top of the net. Campos going to get it back. That one brought back by the double. Another one to Campos. Goes over the double, but handled by Maminga. Set goes left side. A swing by Hackett off the touch. Handled by Campos. This will be Milo that goes wide. And now the Cougars have a 4-point lead with only 4 to get. It's 11-7, and CMU is going to need a run. In the fifth set, the Cougars trying to complete a comeback by winning the last 3. Bump set, Campos. Roll shot, and it falls with nobody around, and it's 11-8. So CMU gets one back. Annabelle Moss will be at the service line. Campos will go out. The serve by Mawson brought across. Taken by Molly Hackett. Comes right side Hunter. This is kept alive by Luby. Back set for Henson. She'll shoot one toward the corner that Maminga will get to. Set now to Hunter in the middle off of the... I don't know if that was off the block or not, but it fell in. It might have been off the top of the net. Cougars don't care. They get the point. It's 12-8. Weiss is into the match, and a timeout's going to be called. A timeout called. It's now 12-8 with the Cougars of St. Xavier trying to complete a comeback by winning the last 3 sets. They fell in the first one 25-15 after it was fairly even. It was a big run over the second half of the first set. And then CMU always stayed in control. Statistically, it was a little bit better set for St. Xavier, at least with their attacking play. But they were always playing from behind, and CMU won 21-18. St. Xavier was down by, I want to say 4 in the third set and came back to make it 50-50 down the stretch, and then won the last, was leading going into the last 3 or 4 points. And they come up with a 25-21 win that they got late, and now then won 29-27. Now it's 12-8. They lead here in the fifth. Serve comes across. Martinez through Bronner. Crystal Bronner couldn't bring it back, and it's 13-8. And now the Cougars are only 2 points away from going to Tyson. It would be the first loss ever in the first round for Central Methodist if it pans out, but that's still 2 points away. Martinez to serve. Brings it to the near side. Short set comes now for Milo. Martinez was able to keep it alive. A swing by Hackett, and she's able to go ahead and bury it. And now it's 6 match points coming for the Cougars. CMU has led most of this match. They've never had a match point, though. Now the Cougars are going to get 6 consecutive potentially here. Martinez brings it to Bronner. This is a short one brought over on two, covered by Martinez. A swing for Hackett. And that one covered by Bronner, though, dug out. This will be Shea Luby, a tip over the top, and is able to go ahead of Maminga. It is 14-9. So 1 of 6 saved now for the Eagles. And Crystal Bronner will be serving. You see the defense over toward that left side, taken by Hackett to set back for Hackett. Big swing and put it down! And it's a completion of a 2-0 comeback and a win, 15-9 in the final set for St. Xavier. The Cougars come back to win it, 15-9. Down 15-25, 18-25. They win 25-21, 29-27, and 15-9 here at Puckett today. It's the Cougars that advance on into the final site at Tyson. They'll be playing again at the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City coming up after Thanksgiving. You've been watching the NAIA Women's National Volleyball Tournament here from Puckett Fieldhouse.